Is the current writing program at my school effective? An action research project by Carrie Markozich Lowe. The purpose of this study is to evaluate the current writing program at Ashford Rumble Elementary School as it is used for students in the intermediate grades or grades 3 through 5. The reason that I chose to only focus on the intermediate grades is because those were the grades that took the curriculum-based assessment in April. The adopted writing curriculum at Ashford Rumble Elementary School is the Foursquare Writing Program. So what exactly is the Foursquare Writing Method? Well, it was coined in 1999 by Gould and Gould, and it is used for beginning or intermediate writers to organize their thoughts prior to writing a 5-sentence paragraph or a 5-paragraph essay. A large square is drawn and divided into 4 smaller squares, with an additional smaller square in the middle. The topic sentence or introduction paragraph is written in the center square, then supporting sentences or body paragraphs are written in the remaining 4 squares. Finally, the writer will transfer what was written in each of those squares onto a separate sheet of paper to create a paragraph or an essay. My research question is, how effective is the current Foursquare writing method for the students at Ashford Rumble Elementary School? My 3 more specific questions are: 1. How do the teachers at ARES use the Foursquare writing method to teach writing? 2. What evidence do I have that the current writing program is successful or not successful? And 3. What are the positive and negative aspects of the Foursquare writing method, and how do they affect student writing at Ashford Rumble Elementary School? In the research that I found before my study, I found that graphic organizers provide visual representations of abstract concepts and ideas that are the focus of writing. And this is why the Foursquare writing method is becoming more and more widely used in comparison to other writing programs. It gives all students the opportunity to present their writing in a way that is organized and makes sense. But my question is the use of a graphic organizer just by itself enough to teach effective writing strategies to students? The qualitative measure that I used was to interview administration and teachers in grades 3, 4, and 5 about the current state of the writing program, as well as their opinions on the positive and negative aspects of the Foursquare writing program. My qualitative measure was to study the curriculum-based assessment scores for students in grades 3 through 5. This test was scored by a rubric in the areas of editing and conventions, evidence and elaboration, and a statement of purpose, focus, and organization. When interviewing Ashford Rumble Elementary School administrators and teachers about Foursquare writing, 2 themes emerged. First was an overwhelming agreement about Foursquare writing method results. 100% of the subjects interviewed agreed that Foursquare writing method does well teaching organization, but does poorly in teaching writing content and editing and conventions. Methods for teaching Foursquare writing was my other theme. I found that 25% of the teachers interviewed teach Foursquare writing method the way that it is supposed to be taught, with 1 organizer for all paragraphs. This means that 75% of the teachers used separate organizers for each paragraph. But I don't really know that it would make a difference on the content or the editing conventions, just the organization part. When scoring the curriculum-based assessment, the students that are on or above level are the ones that are proficient. So according to this graph, only 1 student from grades 3, 4, and 5 was proficient in the writing part of the CBA. Each of the 3 graphs on this page shows student scores in relations to each area of the CBA rubric. So the first thing that it was scored on was editing and conventions. And there we found that no students were proficient in editing and conventions. The next part shows statement of purpose, focus, and organization. There were significantly more students that were proficient in organization, statement of purpose, and things like that on this CBA test. And then in the one at the bottom says evidence elaboration. This part of the rubric deals more with the content of the essay. And even there aren't very many students that were proficient. So it seems like there are more students that do well with organization than with the other 2 factors. After taking a look at the scores from the Writing CBA and interviewing teachers, I found that the Foursquare writing method does well in teaching writing organization, but it does poorly in teaching content conventions and editing. So this means for my plan of action, I'm going to continue using Foursquare as a means of teaching organization because I feel that it works really well. But I'm going to have to find a different writing strategy or program to teach content conventions and editing to my students. Thank you for your interest in my Action Research project.